What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is going to be 5 blatantly rigged moments in sports. Now, this is a 5 points video, so I'm assuming it's American sports based because he does a lot of stuff on American sports. That's what we're going to go with in US sports. Now, this is going to be a super interesting one, and I wonder what route it's going to take because he says blatantly rigged. It doesn't say proven rigged in the title, at least. But it's just going to be everyone has kind of accepted it was rigged and it looked super fishy, a bit dodgy, and everyone's like, nah, that game was definitely rigged. And like in the history, it's just known as a rigged game. Or is it going to be a proven one? Because, I mean, personally, my experience as a sports fan, and I think if you're a sports fan, you can completely agree, when your team loses by a dodgy call, by something which hits the heart, you know, in a last-minute decision or something like that, which you could say, well, that was wrong. Everybody seems to throw rigged, cheat at it. And I'll admit it, I am definitely a culprit in the moment, in the emotion of sport, because again, that's why we love sport. The emotion just gets to you. I have said some nasty words to a referee from the stands, which I'm not exactly proud of. A few swearing words at him and use the cheat word and stuff like that. I think everyone does. But proven? I don't know. I think the only times I've really heard about proven rig stuff was in tennis a few times the other year, where a large bet had been put on in a certain game of a certain set for them to be broken, and it was quote-unquote blatantly rigged. And obviously the stats proved it, that much money, I don't know how much it was, got put on it, and then it was the worst game I've ever seen in my life. A couple double faults into the net. It was clearly rigged, and there's something to back it up, and I think that one got proven. But in terms of that, I don't really know, to be honest with you. So let's find out what this video is all about. I've waffled for so long, I do apologise, but let's get straight into it. Hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as well. I would seriously appreciate that. And let me know your most rigged game you've ever seen, or the one that hurt the most where you genuinely thought that is rigged, when you've cooled down a little bit, you go, okay, it was just unlucky. You know what I mean? Let me know in the comments, guys. I'd seriously appreciate that. And let's check out the 5 blatantly rigged moments in sports. What we got?
It happens every game. A questionable call makes you start thinking the game is rigged, especially when it goes against your team.
Yeah.
Most of the time, this is just banter or reaction to emotion, as replay has helped police bad calls, but not entirely. And then there are moments when you say to yourself, this is definitely fixed. And though many will say you should go take off your tinfoil hat and stick to holding fast that the world is flat, sometimes you will get actual confirmation that a game was rigged. It's rare, but most of the time it's putting together the circumstances, adding up the shadiness, and letting people know we aren't stupid.
So that goes back to like the tennis thing I was saying, all the circumstances, the situation, you go, okay, that was rigged. But in a football, a bad decision in the 90th minute, which 99% of people say weren't a penalty or whatever, you go, well, it's human error at the end of the day, not actually rigged. So, yeah, okay, it looks like we're going down pretty much proven, but it was blatant as well.
So here are the 5 most blatantly rigged moments in sport. Get ready to smash some TVs. Number 5, 1972 Olympic gold medal basketball
Old school
game. This game really pisses me off, and I wasn't even born when it happened. In 1972, in Munich, the worst Olympics ever, the world was on stage, and the world showed how little progress was made on pretty much all fronts. And if having athletes taken hostage and being murdered wasn't bad enough, rigging gold medals...
Wait, what? What? I love how he just skipped past that. Holy, this Olympics seems like it was an absolute disaster. Oh my god, that sounds awful. If anyone can throw some insight or wants me to react to a video or something, like, obviously we don't want to see the graphic stuff, but actually a bit of insight about it, I definitely will, because that sounds horrible and brutal. Wow, this Olympics was a disaster by the sounds of it, if that is true.
Medal game certainly wasn't out of the IOC's purview now, was it? The Americans, led by college kids like Doug Collins, had cruised to the gold medal game and faced the Soviet team, who were basically professionals. Throughout the game, the Soviets received favorable calls and pretty much led the entire game until with 3 seconds left, trailing by 1, Doug Collins got fouled hard as he went to the basket. And here's where the rigging started. Collins would make the first free throw, simple, all tied up. Then during his second free throw, a horn sounded from the scorer's table as Collins shot. It went in, but the Russians claimed that they had called timeout. It wasn't granted. The Russians, seeing that the timeout had not been granted, inbounded the ball, and then play was stopped with 1 second because a whiny Russian bitch ran to the scorer's table even though the game should have been ending with live play. Somehow the play was officially stopped and the Russians were not assessed a technical foul. Then it was decided that no timeout would be granted and the score was 51-50 US. Then William Jones, a Brit and official who had no authority over the game, came down from the sidelines and demanded that the game clock be reset to 3 seconds and the Russians get another chance to inbound.
A Brit, man. Oh, we've let you down, man. It had to be a Brit. Obviously, it had to be a Brit, man. I mean, I'd in this situation, personally, I'd prefer the US to win than the Russians. Nothing against the Russians. I think I would. If I was like, oh, it'd be nice to see the US win. I haven't got anything against Russians. Just, even as a neutral, you probably go, I'd prefer them to win. You know what I mean? But, it had to be a Brit, didn't it? And, again, I'd like to see if this was just a whole confusion, error. Could you say it was blatantly rigged? Was it just an error by the British guy? It sounds like I'm defending him, but you never know. It might have just been. Not solid proof, but if you're the USA, if they score here, that is absolutely gutting. That is heartbreaking, man.
Then play resumed and the Russians couldn't get a shot off and time expired.
Okay.
But wait, the little bitches at the scorer's table couldn't get the clock reset properly, and once again, for a third time, the Russians got a chance to win the game. This time, of course, the Russians finally sunk their basket, and I'm sure if he missed, another foul would have happened, or that bitch William Jones would have made up another rule to give the Russians the win. To this day, the U.S. team has refused to accept their silver medals, having won the game twice.
Oh my God. Okay, you know what? I take it back. That second one was a bit of a... Even if you've messed with... You can count 3 seconds on your hands. That is very dodgy. And you know what? Fair play to them not accepting the silver medals. But if I were one of them, I'd think... I know the whole thing is you want to win, you're being cheated, you're being rigged. But I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll take a silver medal if you don't want out of it. Like, but maybe a loser's attitude. But if you're not going to get a gold, you may as well take the silver. Let me know in the comments what you would do.
It's all good, though. We won the Cold War and stuff. And this happened.
Oh, nice.
Number 4, Nikisha Sales breaks UConn's scoring record. This one you've probably never heard of, but you should have. In 1998, Nikisha Sales of the UConn women's basketball team was 1 point shy of breaking her team's career scoring record until she suffered a season-ending injury. Rather than just chalking things up to some bad luck, head coach Gina Auriemma concocted a scheme to get her the record. In cahoots with the Villanova head coach, Sales was allowed to enter a game, mind you, basically on crutches, get the ball handed to her underneath the basket, and lay it in for the record. I guess that's kind of cool if you like your bullshit extra scheme. And imagine if this had happened in the men's game, what kind of mockery and spectacle that would have created. But this was the women's game in 1998, and just like the WNBA, you've never heard of this incident.
I mean... that comment came in way too late. I didn't fully approach it when I paused it. Oh my God, he's throwing shade. Again, I'm not going to comment on that. But if it's a legend at your club or team, whatever you want to call it, they're one basket away. They have had this injury. Is it the end of the world? They're one away. I don't think I'd be that angry about that, you know? I mean, they'd be a legend in my eyes anyway, and I'll say, you deserved it, man. Who cares? You basically got to give him that last basket. You know what? I would be happy for him. I really would. I would not have any issues with that. I really wouldn't. Let me know again, your guys in the comments. He is throwing shade, man. Wow.
Number 3, 2002 NBA Western Conference Finals, Game 6. In 2002, the NBA needed a boost, and the Lakers going for a three-peat with Kobe Bryant was just what they needed. The problem was a small market team from Northern California was ruining their plans. The Sacramento Kings had assembled a gritty, tough lineup that featured Chris Webber and Mike Bibby with veterans like Vlade Divac and Scott Pollard. And they jumped out to an amazing 3-2 lead on the Lakers and looked very good doing so. In fact, the Lakers looked like they got punched in the mouth. until Game 6 when the Lakers literally got all the calls, particularly in the fourth quarter as they shot 27 free throws. And
Wow.
all of the Sacramento players were in foul trouble. The game was laughable. Even worse, it was on Sacramento's home floor. Tim
Oh,
Donaghy,
man.
the ref who was convicted of rigging games, says the game was rigged. Though there has never been any hard evidence of that, we're not stupid.
I mean, when the ref comes out and said, yeah, he rigged the game, it is rigged, isn't it? Maybe he was saying it as a bit of banter. Again, there's no hard evidence. But, I mean, I'm not going to be an idiot and deny and say, nah, the game can't be rigged when the referees come out and said it. You know what I mean? Again, everyone will have their opinions. All these seem to be basketball related. Is basketball like the most rigged sport ever? Because this is in sports in general. We'll see it the last couple at all. But at the moment, it's just been basketball all through.
Number 2, the 1919 Black Sox scandal. Sometimes we get to
Okay,
speculate
not
about
basketball
whether
anymore.
something was fixed, and then sometimes we know for sure. And in 1919, the World Series was rigged harder than all of the Carnival games combined. In the ultimate FU to their owner, cheapskate Charlie Comiskey, the 1919 White Sox decided to not only tank in the World Series, but also get paid for it. And that's
wow.
what they did. But like any racket, people run their mouths, and a grand jury launched an investigation, and now there's this amazingly boring movie about it called 8 Men Out. And if you want the rest of the story, just go watch that and bring your pillow because your insomnia will be cured. Number
I was just about to say, should I watch it? Have you seen it? But it sounds like I shouldn't. Let me know in the comments again if you've enjoyed it. I don't really watch too many films, but I do love a good sports story. I do love just a good story in general. So if it's worth it, I will watch it. But again, so they admitted to tank. They got found out. They took money for it. That is pretty much rigging. It's bad. It's not good for competitive edge. Well, there isn't any competition at all there. So again, I don't know the full story, but it's awful to see, man. Let's see what number 1 is. We've had 3 basketball, 1 baseball, and let's see what we got at the end.
Number 1, Roy Jones Jr. getting hosed. Back to the Olympics, the most tilted organization in the world. These guys make FIFA look like the freaking Boy Scouts. In 1988, the IOC...
I tell you what, FIFA is very corrupt. And that's proven corrupt as well. Oh my God.
He put a gun to Roy Jones Jr.'s head and literally stole his gold medal from him. At least that's what his fight with Park Si-hoon looked like. All Jones did was pummel Park's face like 2 guys banging a post into the ground for 3 straight rounds. I watched this fight live when I was a kid and couldn't believe Park's head had not flown out of the ring. A serious beatdown plus 2 standing 8 counts left no doubt in anyone's mind who the winner was. Until the ref said that Park was the winner, and no, Steve Harvey was not the ref. Park stunned and either unaware that the outcome...
Yeah, maybe, I do like these guys' videos. I don't watch much of them, but the Steve Harvey reference, that was the Miss America, wasn't it? Or just the Miss whatever it is. And, yeah, you know what I'm on about, and he read the wrong one. And they'd had, like, the whole, not the whole ceremony, but all the tears, the happiness. I mean, oh, so I'm sorry, you didn't actually win, this person won. Yeah, I think I have heard of this one before. Yeah, I have heard this one before, and it looks so rigged.
Outcome had been rigged, or started to feel really guilty about the whole thing, lifted up Jones and tried to console him. Even he knew this was some bullshit.
Wow.
Of course, Jones would go on to become one of the greatest middleweights ever, while Park became a PE teacher, never turning pro. Ah, the Olympics, where people get robbed for real.
It seems that way.
Agree with my list? Think I left any off? Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. And as always, I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this video.
That is the end of the video. 5 Points Vids. Go and check them out if you've never seen them. Awesome channel. We've reacted to him a couple times, and he throws a lot of shade, but he's very funny, and I really do enjoy him. Let me know what you guys thought of that list. There's a part 2 and a part 3, which is on the screen right now. If you want me to check them out, let me know in the comments, because I definitely will do. Yeah, potentially some of them questionable because you don't have the full evidence. But them last 2, I mean, yeah, there's a film out about one of them, so you can't say it wasn't. The basketball one with the ref as well, who's come out and said it, so it definitely was rigged. And it's just awful to see, you know, unless... I was about to say unless you make millions of it and then you'll be like, yeah, I don't care if it's rigged. Nah, I think I'd feel too guilty. Because you want the competitive edge. You want your team to win legit. You know what I mean? This is why we love sport. You go for the emotions. And I imagine we're all still going to go forward and claim something's happened, but the refs just cheat or whatever in that moment of emotion, because it is sport. The emotions get to you. And when I say throw an abusive ref, I don't mean in like a really abusive way. You don't want to do that. You don't want to bring racism into it, anything like that, because obviously that did happen in the England football. None of that. That's absolute idiots, and they shouldn't be talked about. So that's why I've said it at the end. Yeah, absolute idiots. But we do say the ref is a cheat at time, because that is the emotion, and it brings out. This is why we love sport, isn't it? I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. You're absolute legends, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.